Hi friends, it's Jenny. I am joining my sister on our beaded chain challenge this month. If you would like some more details on that challenge, there is going to be a link to the introduction that Becky had earlier last week that also goes into some beaded chain basics. But essentially what we're doing is a couple of years ago, Becky felt like she needed to improve making beaded chain, making simple loops and wrapped loops and those kinds of things. She felt like she needed to improve those skills. And so she challenged herself to make so many per week. And she did it again last year because she really enjoyed it and she stretched herself further. And then she was going to do it this year. And in that time, I have joined her channel. And so I decided to join her on this beaded chain challenge. And we are going to make fun things together because that's what we do. We make fun things together. And so I am, sorry, my beads got a little bit mixed up. I'm sorting over off on the side while I'm talking because, you know, gotta be doing something with your hands, right? Anyway, this is my fourth beaded chain of the challenge. I am doing 2 necklaces each week. That was the goal that Becky set for herself, and I'm following along with that. I might have a slight variation towards the end of the month, but you'll have to wait and see what that is. And this is my second chain for this week. So my first chain that I did took a lot of like creative energy, and even though I mostly did simple loops for that one, I did a faux wrapped loop, but even though I did mostly simple loops for that one, it still took a lot of creative energy. So I wanted something just really simple tonight, and so I decided that I would make from what was left of my Didi's Deluxe Bead box for August. This is the Mochaccino collection, and I made a bracelet when I first opened the box, and then I made an elegant pearl and shell necklace just about a week or so after that. And now I am going to make a beaded chain necklace using a lot of the components that I wanted to use but hadn't really used yet. Like I love these, let me get my links out of the way. Like I love these little crystal discs. They're so sparkly and they're so fun. I also love, I don't know where it went. I had a shell I had chosen. There it is. This is one of the irregular shell coins. This one's kind of square, but I used various ones in these links already. I paired them with those discs. And I made a lot of my links ahead of time, but I will be making at least one of each link with you tonight. And then I also really loved this black moonstone, this natural black moonstone. And you can see there's a lot of variation in here, from like almost clear to a little bit like peachy or blushy, and to the darkest ones. And I went and I picked the darkest ones out because I felt like they were pretty, I don't know, dramatic, I guess. Also, there you see 2 different piles of these coins. That's because these ones fit on the 20 gauge wire that I'm using and these ones don't. So I just went ahead and checked that before I got started. So I recommend that you do that, especially with the shells, but also with your black moonstone, because they not every one of them is going to fit on 20 gauge wire, which is what I'm using since I'm doing simple loops. So I have extra beads here for what I want to design with. I'm also going to incorporate this link as part of my focal. It's just a wing with a mother of pearl inlay. And I cut open my, my bead strand to get this heart. And then these little drops, these little teardrop shapes. I'm making a link with that uses some of the striped shell beads, because I had a few of those left, and that made me happy. So we're doing that, and that's going to kind of work to tie in the Czech glass, but it is mostly going to be these moody colors that you see here, with the shell periodically to brighten it up. And then I have my other Czech glass. I haven't really designed what I'm going to do for earrings, but I thought we might play with these as well as some of the other stuff at the end after we've put together our necklace. I also am still kind of designing the focal. So first I'm going to show you the links, and then we're going to design the focal, and then we'll put it all together. And if we have time and we're feeling like it, then we're going to put together some earrings. So let's get started with that. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Didi's Deluxe Bead Box and what we have going on with that. There is going to be a change on our channel, at least, regarding Didi's Deluxe Bead Box, which we love, by the way. Just to make that 100% perfectly clear right at the very beginning, we love this box. So let me do the links, and then as I'm making things and have that little bit of downtime, we'll talk a little bit more about that. So I guess there is a little bit of an announcement, but we'll get into that. So this is a Soft Flex 20 gauge wire. It is a soft wire. I like to use it for simple loops, and so I'm going to go ahead and use it for this. If you prefer a different wire, that's fine. Use the wire that makes you happy. Make the links you want to make. I'm going to be doing simple loops. So I've got 3 links that I'm putting together. One of them is that teardrop. I'm actually going to do it last. Getting this stuff on there that is easier to fit in case the wires, oh, and I was just smoothing out my wire with my fingers. It kind of warms it up and also works out some of the kinks. So I'm using, I don't remember what this stone is called. Let me see if I've got that on my list. The little brown jade heishes. So this is a brown jade heishi right here. Just a little guy. Just a little guy. And then one of the crystal discs, my black moonstone, another crystal disc, and then another one of those brown heishes. It just kind of gives a moody but also earthy link. And then the other link that we're doing is another one of those discs. I wanted sparkles, so we're doing sparkles. And then we've got our, yep, okay, it does fit. Just making sure it still fits. Our irregular coin, which, like I said, this one is a little bit more square, but as you can see, I've got various shapes here, so that's okay. This one was nice and thick and I liked it. And then another crystal disc. So that's our second link that we're gonna make. And the first one we're actually gonna do, because I'm loading them on my wire, making them a little bit assembly style, uses one of the striped shell beads, the Czech glass teardrop that's a little bit stiff. It does fit, and that's the one thing, when you're checking your wire, don't try to force it. Like, whether it's a glass bead, a shell bead, especially the shell beads, just don't force it. And I'm just putting another striped shell bead on the end of it. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. Move on and check to see if the next one fits. So the basic simple loop, I'm going ahead and pinching the end of the wire. This is already flush cut from when I was making loops earlier. And I'm just rolling it towards me until that metal meets up against the base metal of that wire. It's hard to turn where you can see it. It just keeps being stupid. Here we go, like this, okay? And then you can see that's like a little P shape. So now I'm gonna stick my pliers in here, and I'm rotating, like I was holding it this way when I rolled it up to that point. So then I'm just shifting this other jaw behind where that loop is and knocking it just a little bit so that this then becomes a more centered loop. Hold on, I have to move the whole freaking spool to turn it. There we go. So now it is centered. So I'm going to be doing that on all of these. Just scooting the beads up from where I loaded them on my wire. Getting the stubborn Czech glass where it needs to be. Oh, something just not, there we go. Okay, now my beads are up where they need to be. And then I am taking this, since I'm going to be doing a simple loop, I don't need a whole lot of wire, but I need some, and I am going to be trimming it one more time. So I'm going to snip it here with the flush side toward the spool. So I start the next one well, and then like I said, this is going to be trimmed, so we'll flush cut it at that time. And then I'm just bending over the wire across that shell. You can use your fingers like I did, or you can use pliers, whichever you're more comfortable with. And I'm setting that aside so we can do the next one. So I'm just going to repeat that process. Sorry, trying to make sure I'm on camera. My setup changed a little bit after I came back from Beki's, so forgive me. It's a little bit different. And I'm going to start to tell you a little bit about what we have going on with Didi's. So Didi's is not a subscription. It is a special edition, monthly curated box, and it's beautiful. It's full of great gemstones. We got some shell this time and some crystals, and there's always some great Czech glass, and we really like it. However, they are based in Canada, and Beki and I live in the United States. So with the current situation with the tariffs, Didi has absolutely had to, like it's not something that she really has any control over, increase the cost that she takes for shipping to the United States to cover tariffs. And so right now that is estimated to be about $24 US for just the Didi's Deluxe Bead box. So if it's the only thing that you order, it's an additional $25 on top of the cost of the box. Just, that's what the current thing is. If the actual shipping costs are less, that difference will be refunded. But that does put it outside of our budget as a channel for purchasing and shipping the box to get it here to make content. And so Beki and I've talked about it. And as much as we don't want to, we do feel like we need to put a hold on our Didi's Deluxe Bead. I did get the September box, and you will see it revealed tomorrow, because tomorrow, Friday, September 12th, is when September's contents is revealed, and the October becomes available to be ordered. It does sell out very quickly. I'm not sure at the rate that will sell out, if there's been very many US buyers affected by the changes. I don't know that, but it will become available between 11 and 12 on Friday, Eastern time. Sorry, that is Eastern time. And if you want to get it, you should absolutely get it and order it during that time before it sells out. They usually sell out within just a few hours. So I really, we have anywhere from 25 to 30% of our viewers are actually international viewers. So while Beki and I are based in the United States, and a lot of our friends are, definitely not all of you are. In fact, many of you are placed internationally. So if you haven't already looked at Didi's bead box, and you're not affected by the tariffs, or if your budget can handle the increased cost in shipping, by all means, we still absolutely recommend this box and hope that you choose to get it. And I say this as someone who, we buy this box. This isn't one that's gifted to us that we then need to promote. This is something that we've just really loved and wanted to share with all of you. So, I guess a little bit of a call out since we know that we aren't going to be. We don't want that to make you guys feel like you aren't going to, and maybe you can help make a difference to that small business if you're not already getting Didi's Deluxe Bead box and she ships to your country. Go ahead and check the shipping information available. All of the links are going to be below, to Didi's website, to her Facebook group. That's where she's putting all kinds of information, and not just about the release of the box, but about what she's doing with the shipping and the breakdown of, what do those costs look like depending on the size of your order? What do those costs look like depending on where you're shipping to, or, the contents of the order? Because, based on country of origin of the product inside, not just where it's shipping from, different tariffs apply. So it's this really complicated mess for Stella. And I hate that she's having to go through that. But she's been great. She's been very informative. So join the Facebook group, check out the box, and see if you can maybe help out right now while she knows that her sales are going to be reduced to the United States during this time, just because of what we have going on with the tariff situation. So not to turn this is not, when you go to the comments, please don't, comment on the tariffs themselves. That's something that none of us have control over at the moment. And we certainly don't want to turn this into anything political or negative. Let's do what we can to support support Stella at Didi Beads. And like I said, we might not be buying the October box, but we are still definitely going to be making with the September box and continuing to promote her business as best we can, given the limitations that we also have, if that makes any sense. There will be a little bit more information about that. I'll probably repeat some of these things in case some of you watch the unboxing that I'm going to do, where I'm going to be opening up the September box. Or if, so you'll hear a little bit of a repeat of this. But as I said, when I first mentioned that there was a little bit of a change, and it is just a pause, we love Didi's Deluxe Bead box. We like working with and dealing with Stella, and she's put together a great business and is working really hard to keep that business going and happy, and we all do what we can, right? I just mixed up all of my links, and I don't know which ones I just made because I was talking. Okay, they're fine. They'll be fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on the focal, because I did go ahead and finish making those links. What I want to do is I want to have some of this black, again, bringing in those dark moody colors, on either side of the heart. And then I'm going to attach this to this link, but this is actually meant to be a link. So it does have a loop on the other end, and I am considering a dangle. The question is, what do I want to dangle? Do I want to dangle another one of these guys? That feels kind of big. These striped shell beads are a little bit smaller, but against the mother of pearl, I'm not sure that that's what we want either. I could just do a tiny little crystal rondelle. Maybe that's what I do. A little crystal rondelle. Because I could dig in my stash for something to dangle, but I also have, well, I'm not using any of those rondelles. So I would like to have this be entirely from the box, since so far that's what I've done, is everything from the box. So I don't feel like I need to dig in my stash for a little bit of a dangle. I could dangle one of the flowers, which will help tie that in if I use these butterflies and the darker flowers. If I have this lighter flower here, that would help. This is one of the concepts I'm thinking of for the earrings. I like this flower better than this flower for using as a dangle. And there are flowers carved into the heart. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use that Czech glass flower as a dangle. So this is a stainless steel head pin, a little bit bent, but I should be able to get my flower on here. And I'm not using much of it. Most of this is going to get cut away. But because it's stronger, I can go ahead and just do a simple loop here instead of a wrapped loop. I don't want to take this space for a wrapped loop. So I just put the flower on here, And I'm holding the flower and the pin, and I'm just folding over the end of that wire. And then with my finger right here, I'm just gonna use this to measure an approximate, whoops, wrong cutters. If this is stainless steel, we are using memory wire cutters so that I don't have to worry about dinging my wire. And so I'm cutting and leaving about 1 centimeter to make a loop. And I'm just going to use my round nose pliers to pinch the end of that and roll that just like I was doing those other loops at the beginning. Okay. So then this, we'll attach everything in just a minute. I'm going to use a little bit more of this wire to make a link here. And I'm going to make this one a perpendicular link because I need this loop, in order for this to face the right way, I need this loop to be to stand up straight, like if it was laying down here. And then in order to link my other links above here, I need it to be open in a circle. So this one needs to look like a circle and this one needs to look like a line. So I'm going to make a perpendicular, no, sorry, not perpendicular, yeah, perpendicular. I want perpendicular loops on this link. So start with one. And then I forgot to hold the pin and just held the beads and they all just came off. Okay. Just putting them back on and then holding that. I will double check this with my pliers, but this should be roughly perpendicular when I get done with it. And again, just snipping this off. We're back to the craft wire, so I don't have to use the memory wire cutters, which is good because they're awkward for me. I'm so used to using flush cutters that like judging the distance when I use the memory wire cutters always throws me off just a little bit. Oh, that's almost perfect. Okay, so when this is an open loop here, we have a straight line here. But I do need to work hard in these loops a little bit. So I'm just pinching one in each plier. And look how close they are to perpendicular. Just a tiny little adjustment. I pulled the top one closer to me just a little bit. Has those exactly right. And my heart will spin, but I'm not worried about it because it's the same front and back. So it will be where it needs to be. So the first thing I'm doing is I am opening this loop here and putting the top, the wider part of my leaf, my mother of pearl leaf, not leaf, wing link on here. And I'm doing it in a way so that the mother of pearl faces forward towards the part of the loop that is whole, not where it opens, just to look a little bit tidier. And then I'm closing that link and making sure that it's nice and snug. And then to attach my my little flower, I'm basically doing the same thing. I'm swinging this open, and then I'm attaching the link in a way so that the mother of pearl side of that wing, this is the pointy end of the wing, is facing the whole side of the loop, not where it opens. And again, just making sure that that's nice and snug so that my link does not work itself loose. So this is my focal, like this. That's my focal. which is kind of a long thing, kind of, you know, like the Y length thing, but this is actually going to be like a close wearing necklace. So this will just hang right on the breastbone is where this is going to land on me. So, all right, now for attaching all of these, this is kind of the idea that I had in mind. So attaching the darker ones here, and then our little teardrops, and I think I like them, yep, I like them this way so that they're more teardroppy shape. And then this black again, and then we've got the mother of pearl, the black, the mother of pearl, not the mother of pearl, the shell coin. Did I make? Yeah, I did it right. Okay. And I may not use all of these links. That looks like it's going to be really long. Like this is one side and then this is one side. I'm going to check the length, and I might leave off my last links if I need to, but I like this. I like that it kind of gets these warm tones into it, but it's also got like the soothing white and the moody dark. I like that combination. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the pendant aside, and I'm going to create one half of this by just linking all these guys together. So I know I want to start with the moody color. So I'm just swinging this open, attaching the drop one with the fat side down. And I just made all of these links with parallel loops just to make it a little bit tidy. Like I said, all of these beads spin, so it's fine. So then I open this one, come on, and attach this one. That's the kind of squarish one. Do I want to set it aside in case I don't use all of them? Because it is the only one that's square. Yeah, in case I don't use all of them, I'm going to put one of the rounder ones up front. Like, I picked that one to show you when we made it, but I'm not sure that it's the one I'm going to want. So I'm going to get everything but that last one connected and see where that fits on my neck, around the side of my neck. Because I'm going to be doing very simple clasping. I am just going to use a small lobster claw. Sorry. I have a tendency to, like, when I'm working with fiddly bits, hold it close to my body. And I need to remember that I'm showing you things. So, I mean, right now it may not be very interesting. It's just opening and closing these loops, connecting one side to the next link, closing it, and then opening what is now the end of my chain, and continuing on like that. I want to see how this fits around my neck. I probably am going to use all the links, but I want to know that it's what I want. Yeah, I do. So I might even need an extra link or two, but I'm going to wait and see after I've got it all put together, including the connection to the pendant. If I make any more, it's going to be more of these moody ones, and I've already got some of the dark black moonstone set aside. So that's one half right here. I'm going to go ahead and pause, put together this other half, because it's really just the same thing you just saw me do. And then we will attach the pendant and see where we are with the rest of the design. I'll be right back. Okay, friends, I'm back. And I did decide to go ahead and make 2 extra links, the dark moody black moonstone links to finish off this side and just get a little bit more length for each side. So in case you had lost count, we've got 2 of these. We've got 6 of these with the shell coins, and we have 10 of these ones with the black moonstone. So in case you were not quite sure where we were, how many different ones I did for the length I'm making, this is what I'm doing. If you want longer, you can just make additional of both of these 2 links and make it the length that you want it to be. All right. Now, I am going ahead and I'm going to open up, let's see, I'm going to open this up. And I'm going to attach first one side and then the other, and then I'm closing it. I like to use, if I can, a multi-point connector here, but I feel like I've already got a lot going on with this pendant. And also I didn't have one that I really felt went with this. Most of my multi-point connectors are silver toned, and I've done all of this in gold, so it was not the time to start introducing another metal. But I think that that looks really nice the way it connects here and ties in with the black moonstone that I've already got on here. So I think that's pretty. Let me pick this up, double check my length one more time. That is perfect for clasping. I thought I might have to make an extender chain, but I don't. That is exactly where I want it to be. I am just getting some jump rings and a lobster clasp. So I'll just use this one here. And a large round one, so I've got a good target. And I like my fiddly bit to be on the right side of the necklace, which with the mother of pearl wing facing forward, that's really the only one in this entire design that does need to face a specific direction is this. That means that this is my right hand strand. So this is where I'm going to just open up the end of this link, and I'm just going to pop this lobster claw directly onto it. If this was a toggle clasp, I would probably add a jump ring for better movement, but this guy is moving just fine there. And then this jump ring is already closed. I don't really want to mess with opening it. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to actually open the link, put my lobster claw or my big jump ring on there, and then close it. And just make sure it's nice and snug so that this loop doesn't work its way through. Okay, and that should be perfect. Putting it on real quick. And yes, that pendant. So this fits at the base of my throat so that this drop really doesn't go that far down my chest, but it is a long drop. So that was the length I chose. And I think it's really going to be quite nice. This actually turned out even better than I thought it was going to. I wasn't quite sure how this pendant situation was going to work out for me, but it does, and that makes me happy. So I am pleased with this. And I say we have some time for some earrings. Let's put together some earrings. So I only have one of these flowers left. So that particular flower is not going to end up in the earring, but I do want to use the butterflies and these other ones. I think that we should brighten this up by having some pretty coins. Yes. Yes. And maybe a little bit of a dangle. So I'm going to probably make this in a couple of segments. I think the butterflies should be above the flowers. So I'm going to make 2 links of each. One of them I'm going to use the same ball pins that I used for the base here. And then I'll make a link here and attach those to the earwise so we have a little bit more movement instead of just stacking them all together. because they're butterflies. There should be movement in and around butterflies. Okay, just straightening out these pins. That one might be a problem because it doesn't want to straighten out at the end. But you know what? I'm going to be snipping this anyway. I'm not going to use that whole length. So I'm just going to proactively snip the end of that pin so that this fits better on here. The question is, do I want it like this, so the flower is at the bottom? Or do I like it with the shadow underneath the flower? I think the shadow underneath the flower. Yep. I'm going to go with that. These are complementary, not quite matchy, if you know what I mean. Yep, I'm going to go ahead and do that there. So I'm just going to fold that over, snip my excess, and give this the simple loop treatment, like we've been doing everything. Again, I kind of wanted something simple, but pretty. I wanted it satisfying. And I was like, you know what? I would love to make something else from the August Didis before September becomes available. I'm really excited about that. I'm excited to show you what is in the September box. I have not opened mine yet. I'm going to record it as soon as I'm done here. And I'll show you everything that's in it. I'm going to make from it for this next month. Tomorrow, like I said, September 12th is when the October box becomes available to purchase. That's also when you're going to see my organization video. Whoops, almost used the wrong ones. So there's fun stuff going on tomorrow, and I think you should check it out. So check out what we're going to be making with for September. And like I said, if you are either in another country that doesn't have to worry as much about the tariffs right now as those in the US do, or if it is within your budget to absorb that additional cost, please check it out and give Didi's Beads some support right now. It's beautiful stuff and it's worth it. We just we have to think about the cost of things when we're running our channel. Channel funds only cover so much, and yeah, that's just one of those things. All right, I'm going to put these on here. I feel like they need something. They need something else. So I do want to put the coin beads above them. Maybe these, or even just a heishi underneath each one. I like those light colored ones. Let me look and see how it looks on the wire. When I'm stringing, I audition things on the strand. When I'm making beaded chain, I audition it on the wire. I feel like it needed something, and I'm not sure if that's the thing or if it needs an extra thing. Maybe it just needs one of those heishis on either side of the butterfly. I'm liking that. I'm going to hold it above my mat because those heishis are very much my skin color. I think that might be what I need to do. Okay, so I need another couple of heishis, and I do like these lighter toned ones. Those ones match well. I want to make sure I'm using ones that match well since they're getting turned into earrings. Just needed a little something. I haven't really been adding metal to this aside from the wire itself. I feel like that does enough in the flash of metal. So I haven't really been using caps or spacers, and I don't really want to introduce them on the earrings. I don't know, just me doing what I'm doing. Okay, and then these ones, actually these twist any way you want them. These ones can be parallel. They don't have to be perpendicular. They can be perpendicular because they're attaching to the ear wires, but I don't have anything that's going to hold anything straight because these butterflies are the same front to back, and if they happen to be flying to the side, that's fine by me. I don't mind. They'll flit about and do what they want because they're butterflies. Or as I used to call them when I was a little girl, flutterbys. It made so much more sense to me. They don't butterflies. But they do flutter by, don't they? Yeah. Just the way we think of things when we're kids. But I do love butterflies. And I was really happy to see them on the strand. And I knew I wanted to add them somewhere in this design. They didn't really go with what I did with my last set. So I'm glad that I'm doing this one. I did a strung set with the shells and the pearls, and it was really beautiful and classy. I wore it to my anniversary dinner the day that I made it. So it was like, I used it as a special occasion make, and I loved it. I still love it. It's so pretty. I'll put a link to that in this description as well. So if you missed that earlier make, I'll have the unboxing for this one, my earlier make, links to Didi's website where you can check out the Deluxe Bead box. You're going to want to check that part of the website specifically between 11 and noon Eastern time on the 12th. That's where you'll see it. Also, if you join the Facebook group, she will announce there when it goes live. So you want to make sure you join that Facebook group if you're not already a member, so that you can see announcement. You can check there to see, oh, has it been posted yet? So okay. All right. I do want them to be consistent with each other, and it does look like I did slightly more. I need to so this is how these links are. They either need to be perpendicular or I'm going to go ahead and make them perpendicular. And I'm also work hardening these loops as well. Why does that look funny? Okay. See, not quite. I'm just choosing. You have to pick a side. And I'm going to go with perpendicular. So I am just going to, since I need to strengthen these guys anyway, I'm just going to loop them onto the bottoms of my butterflies. I just had a moment. I'm like, did I put my butterflies the right way up? I did. I was so worried for a second that I did one upside down. I didn't. We're fine. Everyone's fine. There we go. A little bit of a dangle. Yes. And then do this again on this side. And then we'll get everything together. Clear a few things off my mat, get everything together for a last look. Okay, I'm just moving some tools off of my mat. Oh, I didn't attach my ear wires. Silly me. Here are my ear wires. I'm all acting like I'm done. These aren't earrings yet. They're just fancy links with dangles. But now they're ear wires. And like I said, I'm not worrying about which direction I put it on because these don't have fronts and backs. They're just going to be pretty no matter what. There we go. Now I have earrings. Now they're actually earrings. And let's take our necklace, position it here with our earrings so that you can see all of it together. What do you think? I think it's pretty. So this is how it hangs on the neck right here. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of curl the top of this necklace up a little bit so you can see. And then we've got our earrings for either side, the tie-in. Again, some of that beautiful Czech glass that was in the strand, the exclusive strand, Czech exclusive. But I think that's pretty. Guys, I love how this turned out. I hope you like it. I hope you had fun hanging out with me. Like I said, I'm going to have all the appropriate links. Don't forget to go to Didi's website on September 12th between 11 and noon on Eastern time. And even though we may be pausing our Didi's purchases, hopefully it's not for long. As soon as we can get back to it, we will get back to it. In the meantime, we hope that those of our friends who can will check it out and move forward and help support Stella and her business during what is a very trying time for anybody who has a small business, as I'm sure many of you know. So yeah, I'm excited. If you have not already, if you liked what you saw here, go ahead and hit like. If you're not subscribed to our channel, subscribe, ring that bell so you know when we have new videos, and leave us a comment. I love to interact. I may take a day or two to reply, but I usually do reply. And let me know what you think about the design and just, what else is on your mind. But I hope you have a wonderful time. I know I did. And as always, happy beading, and don't forget to play. Bye.